Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to the channel. Uh, I just want to say thank you guys so much for the support lately on all the videos. I know that I've kind of been going out of my element in talking about all the Wyckoff stuff and stuff like that, but I really think it's important for us to be paying attention to right now because it seems that these schematics, at least in one way or another, are playing out on the chart. I do want to shout out Alfred Giancolado on YouTube. He made a video last night that was explaining his idea surrounding Wyckoff on AMC. So I want to make sure that you guys go check out his channel. He does a great job. He definitely understands the concept, and it's actually his primary, the primary way that he views the market. So go check that video out. I'll have it linked down below. I also want to mention TradingView is the product that I use in order to do all of these charts. And I actually just got done working out an affiliate program with them. Basically, anybody who signs up with TradingView, if you choose to do a paid membership, you get a certain discount depending on whatever package you do. You can also use TradingView for free. A lot of the tools that I use, almost all the tools that I use are free. And it's pretty cool to have an account too because you can actually keep your charts saved to your account and you can access them on mobile or on your desktop. So you can always keep up with the charts that you're doing and stuff. So go ahead and make an account over there, even if you do it for free. Use my link down in the description below. And it'll just keep track of how many signups or whatever, so it helps support the channel. And if you sign up with a paid thing, I get some sort of commission or something. So I appreciate that. Anyway, let's get into the chart. So if you've been following the channel the past few days, I've been following these different Wyckoff accumulation schematics that I think that AMC is playing out on. And I actually think it's pretty, pretty interesting how closely it's following. So you have this schematic, which is schematic 2 for accumulation, and this schematic, which is schematic 1 for accumulation. And right now, I think that we're either on the end of phase C or, for schematic 2, or we're entering phase C, and we're going to have to figure that out. So let me show you what I'm talking about exactly. So if I pull up the spring theory, now the reason that this that I have that I have this bars pattern set up here in yellow is because my friend Mocha and he's not like, I'm not saying that because he's my friend. I'm just saying that that's his Twitter handle at my friend Mocha on Twitter was saying that based on cycle theory, he believes that we're actually entering April if you're following cycle theory, which basically is the theory, if you're not familiar with it, the theory that AMC is actually following the same price algorithm over and over again, just in lengthened and shortened ways. So he believes that we're actually entering the April part of the schematic. And I haven't seen his update from today or anything like that, but that's what he's been following over the course of the past few weeks. Anyway, remove this. So I drew this a few days, and basically I just copied from where he pretty much was saying we were, and I got a bars pattern based on that to get a projection as to how this Wyckoff accumulation schematic could be going if we are entering phase C. And as you can see, we have had some divergence on this pattern because today was an up day for AMC. And if we were following the same exact pattern, and again, I'd have to catch up on his, and maybe this little peak is like here, and it's probably never gonna be exactly perfect, right? But I would say that his projection would be calling for a dip of sorts. That would be basically a spring, and then a test in the Wyckoff schematic. And I'll show you that schematic again here. Let me just make sure it's the right one. Yeah. This schematic here. So you see in phase C, you have that spring and then test before you move into phase D, which is just this really dramatic sell-off. And you see this, actually, let me pull up the Bitcoin chart, because Bitcoin actually, I believe, is at the end of one of these accumulation schematics currently. And for anybody who's not familiar with Wyckoff and the purpose of it, I know that I always get a lot of new viewers to the channel. If you're new to the channel and you like the content so far, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any of my future uploads. Oh, let me zoom in here. I'm way, way out. But anyway, you see this big dramatic sell off here on Bitcoin. This would be representative of that spring in phase C, followed quickly by that test. So it bounces up right quick, and then bounces back down, gets that test, and then boom, you move into phase D, where now Bitcoin has been pumping lately, and I believe it's actually at the end going into phase E. But anyway, let's not talk about Bitcoin too much. I just wanted to show that as an example. So there is the alternative schematic, which is phase C, which says that we're going into phase C, and it's actually the one that I initially came up with. It was the one that I made before I made this one. So let me show you that. Take this one off. Wait, no. Oops. Boom. So, and it's really interesting to see because with this schematic and based on the price movement, we are on the hourly chart here. You see it's following pretty similarly. Now, where I drew this one from, the bars pattern, you can see here the run up. The run up actually happened sooner in this one, and I drew this based on this period here back in, can you see this? Oh, you can't see, sorry. The chart's in the way. This period here that you can see in like early May, essentially. So it is pretty interesting to look at it and combine these two theories. But I also want to bring in some fundamental like technical analysis that me in my natural, like what I usually am analyzing before I started obsessing over all of this stuff would have been looking at, right? And how it aligns with that. So we do have this trend line here. I don't know why it's not showing in my schematic. I could have sworn that I saved one before the video. And let me make sure that I draw it pretty exactly here. And the reason that I'm drawing it from here is because you have these few touches right before the run in January, right? It came off of here, found support, bounced again, traded here for a while, bounced off a few times, and then lift off, right? Now you're seeing it respect it. I actually drew this trend line. For those of you who've been following the channel, I drew this trend line way back here. And this is the hourly chart, so you see this little dip. If you look on a daily chart, it actually probably doesn't even show this dip. But so we're finding support here again, and this would support the theory that we would move up into this LPS. But let me take the Wyckoff off for a second. Let's just look at the trend line and then go back to some of the past analysis that I've done, right? So I started this channel a few weeks ago discussing this falling wedge pattern, right? And again, you can draw it a bunch of different ways, but just keep this upper line in mind because this is the most important one. We got the breakout. And what I was telling people at this time, this is when I was making the mother of all bear traps videos, right? That was kind of my first series. But basically, I called this breakout, this bottom, off of this fib retracement here at the 786, right? I was calling for this I was like, yep, we're coming down to the 786. This is going to be a key support. If we find support here, then it's bullish, right? And what I was saying was, this is an Elliott wave 1. Let me go find my Elliott tool, sorry. Still getting used to the location of these things, so I use TradingView on my phone much more frequently. But basically, if you're familiar with Elliott wave, the impulse wave is a 5-wave sequence up, right? And those 5 waves are made up of, oh, I just did this wrong. Sorry. Those 5 waves are made up of smaller 5 waves, and I'll show you that as well. But I thought that this was a wave 1 up here. Then we had a wave 2 down, and then a wave 3 is what would be coming next. So, and this is a macro wave 3, right? And what I mean by that is basically you can count Elliott waves within Elliott waves. So you have a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you have a corrective wave, which is an ABC typically. And you can draw this a few ways, but you do A, B, C. And then you go into a new 5-wave sequence. And this 5-wave sequence, right, if you go into wave 3, just to show you how Elliott wave can break down, And again, we're still respecting a good Fibonacci level here. So if you measure from the bottom to the top of this move here, we kind of came down like we wanted to touch the 786 and actually rejected, came back up, and because we caught this trend line, right? So this is why I use a bunch of different theories and I combine a bunch of different analytical theories, because it allows me to confirm what I'm seeing on the chart in multiple different ways. Now, I can still get faked out, but at the end of the day, technical analysis is about probabilities, right? And trying to figure out what's the most probable thing to happen. And so what you're looking for here is now a wave 1 to complete. We're going to be looking for a pretty aggressive move up here for a wave 3 and a wave 4 and a wave 5, or it would probably look a little bit more like this if I had to guess, right? And this is the hourly chart still. And this, what you're looking at here, is a wave 1. Maybe you've completed a 2. You come back here for a 3, 4, 5, right? Typically 3 is the most powerful wave of any sequence, and then if you go into like wave 3 of wave 3, then that's like the most powerful like single leg of the move. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at from Elliott wave. We looked at Wyckoff already. We analyzed the patterns that are playing out. So overall, you know, typically, and I know that a lot of people say technical analysis doesn't work on AMC. Because it's so manipulated and et cetera, but I do want to bring this back up, and I want to compare it to another thing that's kind of hot right now. This, and the reason that technical analysis can be so valuable, right? Look at this chart, right? Would you just look at it? Just look at the chart, and then compare it to here. This Wyckoff theory was developed in like the 1930s, right? And this chart follows so closely to it. Now I want to have you look at something else that is currently playing out, in my opinion, on Shiba Inu. Ooh, look, we're getting a little bit of a rejection here on the 5-minute. Are they trying to break my theory so that they ruin my video? I'm just kidding. But I drew this chart, and it's still valid. It's still fine. I drew this chart because it appears that after this big run-up that Shiba Inu has been having, we're getting this same sort of pattern developing on Shiba. Can you guys see this clearly? So yeah, you can. I had to check over to my OBS. I'm sorry. So let me move the schematic over. Oh, sorry, I'm using 2 monitors, so it can be a little confusing. But same concept, right? You have your primary sell-off, your sell climax, your automatic retest, your secondary test, and another automatic retest in phase B, your sell test in phase B, and then you come back up here. This can be another automatic retest. You see in the pattern that it allows for these tests of liquidity over and over again on the chart. Look at how similar that is to what has happened in AMC. And really, you look at this little flattening here, this flattening of this pattern as well. I mean, the pattern, it's really reliable. And just to explain the goal of Wyckoff and what Wyckoff is and everything like that, if anybody hasn't heard that, I think I might have tried to do it, but I forgot to. Basically, it's the study of how institutions trade equities, investments, etc., however you want to call them. But basically, it's the theory that institutions drive the market, which they mostly do, right? And what they do is they distribute at tops, right? They sell at tops, and then they accumulate at bottoms, which they buy at bottoms, right? They're accumulating assets on the bottom in order to kind of prepare for a next run up that they see happening. And you can see these schematics playing out. Again, I'll show you Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is probably the most screaming example of these charts. I mean, it's undeniable, in my opinion. And look, Oh no, could you guys see any of the stuff that I was just doing? I'm so sorry, man. I was saying that they distribute, right, at tops. After the run up in June, you had this distribution play out. Then they started to accumulate, right, based on the schematics that we've been looking at. So let's look at Bitcoin again. I'm so sorry that happened. You guys were probably like, I can't see the screen. I understand. I would have been pretty frustrated too. Like, you dummy. Why don't you edit your videos? I know. I should, but so let's look at the distribution schematic right quick. And you can see here that on the distribution schematic, the way that these peaks were working for Bitcoin in this period, towards the beginning of 2021 up until May, you have this big sell-off, right? And then you go directly into an accumulation. And yeah, this is the accumulation that played out on Bitcoin. Let me put it over the top, this one. And you can see here that you have your, phase A, boom, sell climax, secondary test, boom, you go into phase B, you do some sideways action here. You have your spring, your test, and then shortly after you go into phase C, you run up your last point of support. Now you're in SOS, and I believe that you're breaking out into your phase E. So this chart can really be found, I mean, in a lot of places, man. But it's not so much about the chart being exact. It's more about the concept and what's going on with it, right? You see the curve. Boom. There's your distribution, like we talked about. This is so incredibly profitable institutions are selling off, and then they're buying back, and then they're selling off, and they're buying back, and they're selling off and buying back to exhaust retail and achieve maximum profit. Then they have the final sell-off. They start to accumulate. They continue exhausting retail by freaking retail out, buying the bottoms. That's why you see these giant wicks, by the way. This is not like your normal everyday person that's buying here on May 19th with this big sell-off, okay? This is institutional money that can move the price of Bitcoin from in one day from $43,000 all the way down to $30,000 and then back up to $36,000. I'll never forget this day. I mean, in the matter of hours, right? In the matter of hours, and I know I'm getting the video's going a little bit longer than I was planning on probably, but I just really think it's an important point to hit home with. That here, wait, hold on. It was a few days. It was the day before my daughter was born. I'm a big crypto guy, okay? So this kind of freaks me out a little bit. But look, in the matter of hours, I was like, yo, what's going on? This is what got me into Wyckoff, okay? Initially. In the matter of, let's see. This is 4 a.m. on this chart. I was watching this happen. Look, 7 a.m. This 7 a.m. 1 hour candle was $39,200 all the way down to $32,000 and then back up to $34,000 the next hour. It's the highest that it was in that hour was $37,600. Lowest was $30,000 and then it bounced all the way from there to $34,000. I mean, this is like billions of dollars to get price movements like that, back and forth. It's not your everyday person that's doing that, right? It's institutions. They're shaking retail out of their positions and all of these different and normally it's like something that's got a big retail, right? Like a lot of influence in retail. Like there's like the ape community surrounding AMC. Shiba Inu has essentially taken over all of social media over the course of the past few days. Cryptocurrency and its narrative, anti-inflation, the traditional finance system, etc. Retail has a lot of interest, and I think that institutions see that as liquidity opportunities, right? So they know that if they start buying it up, retail is gonna join the party, say, oh, we're going to the moon, and then they're gonna sell off, freak retail out, make retail sell off again, and then buy up again. Oh, we're going to the moon, right? So I know that I kind of bounced around. I talked about a bunch of different subjects here, but look, going into Friday, my expectations, and I know this is really weird for me because on Fridays, AMC typically is very sideways, right? Sideways Fridays. Hashtag Sideways Fridays. But I'm going to be looking for, what do we have here? It actually aligns here. $40-ish. If we finish in this sort of target range, let's see. Let me get a circle and draw it there. If I knew how to use, okay. Here, right? If we get into this sort of range of price, basically say like $38.50 to like $40-ish. I mean, you know, you're gonna see this looks like the other schematic. Let me show you the other accumulation schematic. I gotta remember to not leave those charts up, man. They're like in my OBS, and I just click onto them and I jump around on the chart. I really got to work on that. Sorry about that. If I've been blocking out the chart or anything, I apologize. But you know, if this sort of move happens here, and look, I'll tell you, I don't talk about fundamentals very often on this channel at all, but it is interesting timing that this news just broke about the debt ceiling, and you know. It's October 7th, by the way, 8:40 p.m. About an hour ago, and I haven't looked into the details on it, so don't quote me. But I did see people on Twitter talking about how the debt ceiling is getting raised and until December or whatever. And so, you know, it is funny timing. I mean, the market likely is going to react to this in a positive manner. And look at what this chart that I laid out probably back here somewhere is. I really was starting to follow it like back here. In this way, I mean, I've been following Wyckoff on this thing for probably like this long, but it is funny timing, and so if we get a good move for AMC tomorrow here, oh man, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna make me say, you know, hell, you know, like, are we just repeating this move back here, right? Oh, and by the way, I do have I do have this done on a Wyckoff as well, in case you're curious. I do have this one as a spring and a test. But, you know, like, are we just repeating this sort of move back here? And really, I mean, is this thing... you know, I don't want to get anybody's hopes up or anything. That's not the point of this channel. I'm just saying, analyzing the price, right? And all of this analysis has led me down all of these crazy paths with this particular stock. And I've had a fun time doing it and sharing it with you guys. But yeah, I mean, if we see a move like this, I'm not going to lie, you know, the alarms are going to be ringing in my head. I'm going to be like, yo, what is going on? Especially normally on Fridays. Well, really on Fridays, we get like some sort of initial move and then it kind of just like stabilizes to the max pain point, whatever that's going to be. So, yeah, it's something else, you know, it's something else how these things tend to happen. But anyway, I know this video ran a little bit long. I'm sorry about that. I've been trying to keep the videos a little bit shorter, but I just really want to walk through the process. For those of you who are curious, okay, and I don't like to give price targets, so do not, like, take this to the bank and you know, tell the loan officer that, you know, you're holding this much AMC and this guy on YouTube told you this is going to happen, okay? This thing could definitely, like, keep going down or whatever, okay? But if this, like, thing continues and we see this pop up here, and I mean, you know, for those curious, I scaled it out a little bit to make it match up, everything like that. It also aligns with previous theories that I've shared on the channel where you have this kind of this channel forming. Let me get all this noise off of the chart. All right. Clean it up a little bit, make it a little bit easier to see what I'm talking about. Let's just pull up the bars pattern. It is relatively consistent, I will say, with this sort of channel that this channel theory that I've had out there, thesis or whatever you want. I had somebody say, I think a theory, it means that I have like some scientific proof or something. So don't quote me, like don't bring me to like Harvard science department or something and say, hey, this guy said. But yeah, anyway, you know, it does align with this general kind of thesis of like us kind of trading in this channel and continuing. Now, a lot of people are going to be in the comments saying just buy and hold. win MOAS, win Moon, etc., etc. And I'm not trying to like get anybody's hopes up again, man. Do not like trade based on this, but because I'm not a financial advisor and I don't give financial advice, but it is a pretty interesting thing to follow. So, with all that being said, I know I got a little long-winded there. Sorry about that. Don't apologize. Don't tell me not to apologize. Don't say it. Don't say it. I'm just kidding. Say whatever you want. But yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for sticking until the end. I know this was a long one. I think it was a really interesting video though. Oh, dude, if I left this schematic up and it blocked all the stuff that I was just trying to show you, it's gonna make me freak out. This is the channel that I was talking about. This is the bars pattern that I was talking about. Just go back, listen to it again, and pretend like you can see this. I'm so sorry about that if it blocked it out. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like on the video. Comment your thoughts down below on what you think. I did combine like all of my theories pretty much in this video. I talked about Elliott wave, talked about Fibonacci, talked about patterns, talked about cycle theory, talked about Wyckoff. So this was a crazy one. I have no idea what the title and thumbnail is going to be. But again, a reminder, if you want to make charts like this, you want to use the same tools I'm using. I use TradingView. It supports the channel if you sign up there. It is an affiliate link, so I do receive a commission. I just have to inform you of that for legal purposes. So I do appreciate that if you choose to do that. If not, it's cool. Totally free to use, by the way. Also, I use free TradingView forever. Yeah, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications if you want to catch my future uploads. Check out the Discord link down below. We have a cool community that we built down there. It's totally free to join, where we talk about this and a bunch of other stuff throughout the day. Is there anything else? I think, follow me on Twitter at David Marino Jr. And I think that's it. Thank you guys so much again for watching, and have a good rest of your night. See you tomorrow. I upload every day, by the way. Dude, is this not some crazy shit, though? Look at what happens when I turn everything on the chart. Watch this. Look, it's gonna turn into a mess. Look at this. Would you just look at it? Just look at it. Would you just look at the chart? Just look at it. Just look at it. Look. Look at it. All right, guys. Have a good one.